Welcome to the Gratitude Cafe, positive radio to feed your soul. Your dynamic host and founder, Sue Lundquist, will bring you her own intuitive talents and gifts for co-creating, healing, and teaching. Her show, The Gratitude Cafe, positive radio to feed your soul, is focused on bringing you to a higher place each week where you can leave the hustle of life at the door. So pull up a chair and join us for The Gratitude Cafe, positive radio to feed your soul.
There we go. A cheerleader. She's always here right when you need her. We have a whole studio full of cheerleaders today, don't we?
I love it.
Oh,
Metaphysically and realistically, practically, right?
You know,
Benny, welcome.
Hi. Well, I'm already welcome.
I know,
I'm already
but
here.
I just thought I'd say that because, just because. Are you wearing shorts today? Let me see.
Of course I am.
Let me see which ones you got.
Why?
Stand up.
Just
Let me
normal.
see your sexy legs.
Just normal.
Are they the ones with
See,
the...
now it's really awkward.
No, it's
Let's just see your legs, Benny.
Benny, let me see your
They're
legs.
just
You
cargo
got
pants.
legs.
There's nothing
yes,
special.
all right.
They're gray cargos. You see?
Yeah, there
Nothing
it is.
special.
I bet you, audience, you wanted to see that. I know you did. We're going to keep Benny under
Someday.
lock and key.
Someday.
Yes, yes, yes. We have very special guests today in studio, and I will be formally bringing them on in just a minute. Of course, we've got to do our standard housekeeping and all of that good stuff. Toronto. Why am I talking about Toronto, Canada? Well, because I'm going to be in Toronto, Canada with Dr. Joe and his team, and that's September 1st through the 7th. And I want you guys to go to this event because it's going to absolutely 100% change your life. You guys heard me talk on air of my trip to Italy and Sardinia, Italy, and being a team leader there as well with Dr. Joe and all of his team. Seriously, folks, it's magic, and we're changing lives, and the work that he is doing, and I'm simply there to be a team leader and facilitate this magical change and hold space and love on all of you, and I'm truly, truly honored to be a part of this whole community and environment. But I wanted to give a special reminder to all of you. Please sign up for Dr. Joe in Toronto. It's called Waking Up in Your Future. It's going to be hosted at the Weston Harbor Castle in Toronto. Go to drjoedispenza.com/events. If you've got any questions, you can email me. If you're driving, just go to SueLundquist.com and you'll be able to get a hold of me. Again, that's September 1st through the 7th. Just do it. You guys have heard me talk about him for years. And now he's doing these incredible week-long intensives, and they are amazing. New perspective, new thoughts, new ideas. It's a new you. We have got an incredible show today. We're going to be talking about finding your life direction, modern wisdom. What does modern wisdom look like? It's a 3-step process, right? Is it 3-step process? That's what I was reading. Anyways, we're going to bring our two beautiful guests on in just a minute, and they're going to walk us through all these steps, educate us. We're going to have some fun, and I'm sure we're going to do a lot of laughing because that's just what we do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And enter cue the laugh.
Yeah, cue the laugh. I'm like looking at you going, you can talk now, guys.
All right, we're here. We're here.
Yes, we have wonderful Marc and May, and I'm going to get to their formal introductions in just a minute. But before we get started, of course, I have another superstar behind the scenes, and that superstar is Josh Parkinson with Resonate brand. Resonate helps you build beautiful mobile-friendly websites, but more importantly, they help you build a web strategy that helps your business attract new customers, grow a following, and get higher in the search listings. And if you want to create an online course or membership that sells automatically without you lifting a finger, they can help and build that too. Contact Resonate Web Leadership for a free consultation to see what options they have for you. Go to www.resonateweb.agency. I feel like I need to take a nice, deep, slow breath. How are you, Benny?
I'm good.
How are the boys?
They're great.
What else is new?
Not a whole lot.
Our Canadian flag.
Summertime. Is it back?
No.
I can't see directly behind me right now. It was a
I'm
big
having
topic on
an
the show
issue.
last week and in previous weeks because it's gone missing, apparently. And we don't know why.
Yeah, so who do we talk to about
I've already
this?
contacted the
The
building
powers- the
management.
powers that be?
I'm waiting to hear back. I don't know.
All
I don't
right.
know.
So, did
I
you-
think we should just fly a mini one in its place, like just haul one up there.
Yeah, I think we should.
I don't know.
Did you get the email? Because I didn't.
Negative. I'm still
Okay.
working on it.
So, you know what? If it's on here, I could
We
read
might
it
just
on
have
the...
to just do that one
All
live.
right. We
That's
have
okay.
got... Oh, look at that. What we're doing here is we're goofing off in the studio because we are completely professional, and we have a iPad here that wonderful Marc has offered to let me use because I'm going to read a bio from it because my printer didn't work today. So behind the scenes, you really didn't need to know all of, but here we go. Marc Sachnoff, 2-time Emmy-nominated television producer and technology-focused businessman. Marc Sachnoff has worn many hats. A 20-year Hollywood entertainment industry executive, Marc has been involved in successes ventures in television, games, licensing, marketing, publishing, and new media. I didn't meet him until after all of that, and the Marc that I know is not all Hollywood. He's soulful and beautiful, and I mean that with a good intention, right? You know where I'm going with all of this.
Of course.
Yes. Going back to marketing, publishing, and new media, highlights of his more than 150 hours of television include co-executive producing Sesame Street's 25th anniversary and, I can't read that, producing the Bells of Hope celebration for the Presidential Inaugural Committee.
Not this inauguration.
No.
Previous
Ugh.
administration.
We're not going
Thank
there.
you.
Supervising.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And supervising producer of the 10-hour History of Rock and Roll with Time Warner and Quincy Jones. The
There we
list
go.
goes
Nice.
on
Nice.
and on and on. Marc is the founder of Modern Wisdom Leadership Institute, a strategy and training organization that helps individuals and organizations find their unique meaning, purpose, and direction so all involved can live a more joyful, harmonious, and successful life. Welcome, Marc.
Hi, Sue. It's great to be here.
Good.
I'm super glad to be here.
I am super glad to be here, too. And then we have the most beautiful, spiritual, bouncy, I see like cotton candy all around you, Miss Enmay.
The fabulous Enmay Mangels.
Yes, the Enmay Mangels is an internationally renowned intuitive strategic advisor, empath, and modern-day spiritualist. She is a wife, stepmom, grandma. Grandma?
4.
What? Congrats. And an unashamed Hello Kitty enthusiast.
Give it up for Hello Kitty.
Yes. And an advocate for all those who have forgotten their own inner voice. As a 7th generation, folks, 7th generation intuitive, her ultimate Wi-Fi, I love that, allows her to unveil and dissect how life stories or events prepare for a positive mindset or a challenging roadmap. What Enmay has coined as hereditary hostage, right?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, we're going to
Mm.
have that conversation.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. You got to bring that microphone closer to you, love.
Okay.
With compassion and ease, she brings renewal to areas of stagnation, uplifting the soul of a person,
Let's do it.
career, and business.
Absolutely.
Bring it, Miss Enmay Mangels.
Hey,
Welcome,
Sparky.
sweetheart. Welcome, Sparky. It went from Super Sue to Sparky.
I love it. You know what I like to say about Enmay is she's the woman who brought woo-hoo to woo-woo. She is a bundle of Hello Kitty joyful energy.
Very much so. Okay, so obviously I have to do the formal introduction, but it's you know, kind of stiff, and I want to get to know you. My audience wants to get to know the both of you. So who would like to start? Just a little snippet, Marc? And
Sure, of course. Well, you know,
Say
Sue,
hello.
Hello, everyone. My
Yes.
name is Marc Sachnoff from the Modern Wisdom Leadership Institute,
Yes.
modernwisdom.com. And Sue, we met, and in fact, Enmay and I also met through our mutual friend, Thach Wynn, the real
Yes.
estate magnate and wonderful, energetic ball of success himself, if Thach is out there. And Thach and I co-authored with Matthew Ferry and Kristen Marie Sherline
That's right.
the book The Gift, and we hosted a bunch of those gift networking events, which were really fun. And so Enmay and I met through Thach as well. And really part of my whole purpose, you know, my personal mission is to live joyfully and meaningfully and help others do the same. And so my goal is to combine my 30-plus years of Buddhist practice in the SGI Nichiren Buddhist organization with my 30-plus years in business to bring the Buddha, to bring wisdom, to bring to create enlightened workplaces and help people discover their own enlightened life direction. And so May and I, in our crazy way, so I always like to say May, she's 7th generation, intuitive, right? And she'll tell you that whole story. But me, I started out being a cynic, then I became a skeptic, and now I'm an open-minded Buddhist enlightenment seeker who wants to help other people open their lives as well, because I realize if I can discover the power of intuition, if I can discover the enlightenment that lies within each person and the Buddha that dwells within, then anybody can do it. So Enmei was born with it. I had to struggle with it, but now I'm that's why we make a wonderful partnership, right, Enmei?
Who doesn't want to hang out with a landlocked Buddha?
A landlocked Buddha. I
This
love
is
it.
my boy. This is my hood. And with our two distinct styles of intuition, we've been able to capture it onto something that's replicable. So we've been able to put out e-courses and workshops to share, to actually teach people to reach their own intuition. Everybody's got this flow. So we want to tap into that, help you find it and trust it.
Talk about intuition. Talk about you and Mark, and we'll go to intuition in just a second. But Mark, you were alluding earlier the difference between, or you stated it, the difference between a professional environment and the Buddhist environment, and bridging those two together. How are you doing that currently in your life?
Well, that's a wonderful question. Thank you. Because, I believe that every person has a mission. Every person has a reason for being on the planet. We all have a unique combination of skills and of passions and experiences that we can use in service to others in order to lead a successful and fulfilling life. And yet, I spent several years at one of the world's largest technology companies. I won't mention its name, but there are a lot of wonderful, wonderful people there who are in what I call, they're in a golden cage with golden handcuffs, doing stuff that is, their life is drudgery. And I was one of them. I was, I was a PowerPoint slave. I was a slave. I was a slave to everything in the office suite, Word, Excel, you name it. I mean, I say that jokingly, but the truth is that there are so many wonderful people in organizations that are not allowed or able to take advantage or bring their best self to work every day. And
that right there, by definition, bringing your best self to your work every day. Because people it's a rat race, right? They get so spun out and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, Father Bob, he passed away, but he used to have this story. He called it the doorknob test. And he would ask, when you go to work every day and you get to work and you put your hand on the doorknob of that office or that shop or whatever it is, are you excited to go in? Are you motivated? Are you joyful? Or are you reluctant, hesitant, or even loathing the thought of opening that door? And of course, the same is true on the reverse trip, which is when you get home and you get to that doorknob.
Oh.
Are you excited? Are you supercharged to, open that door and share what you've done that day? Or are you reluctant? Are you hesitant? Are you even loathing or afraid or filled with fear and trepidation to open that door? So when I love that idea of the doorknob test.
I love that.
And I can say that, statistics show that more than 50% of American workers are disengaged. And what that means is that they're showing up at work, but they've already fired themselves. They're still getting paid, but they're fired.
Yeah.
They just fired themselves, and so
Emotionally,
mentally,
mentally,
spiritually,
everything.
And so one of the things that Enmei and I have really, asked ourselves is, how do we help people live more joyful and fulfilling lives? Not just success, because success is measured. You can measure success by money, but Enmei and I can tell you, both of us have worked with some of the most successful people in America, and frankly, some of them are just dang miserable, right, Enmei?
It's sad.
Yeah.
Sad face, if you can see Enmei.
Yeah, we are on camera, too. To our international people, Belgium, Mexico,
Hi,
say
everybody.
hi.
Hello, everyone.
Well,
And May.
we've allowed everyone to believe that we have to work this way, that we have to be in that drudgery, or that we've resigned ourselves. However, I'd ask you to start checking or back-checking yourself. Are you there due to instinct or intuition?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a big
Let's define
perking
those.
difference
Yeah, let's
between
define
those
those.
two. Instinct is fear-driven.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. If there's a bear coming at you, let's run.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's turn on the instinct. outstanding. But if you're making your daily decisions based on instinct, you can't hear yourself. And that puts you into that fear, flight, or frozen situation.
Yes.
You're being reactive rather than proactive. You're being slimy, stinky, and poopy.
Not of service.
Not
I
of
love your
service.
language.
Slimy, stinky, poopy is right up my alley. So when we turn that noise down, we actually hear something called your intuition. That space is knowing, is proactive, is smooth and flowing and fast and easy.
And it's really important, audience, we're discerning. This is exactly what Emma is saying, because this is really important. It's the discernment, because it's not that fear, jabby kind of voice in your head.
Owie,
it's a
owie,
very
owie. Yes.
soft. You have to slow down to hear it. You have to be in a calm space in between the ears, right?
I like to take my clients through 3 deep breaths.
Okay.
A breath for your past, a breath for your present, a breath for your future. And when you can actually take 3 deep breaths, you can start to feel emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, mindfully, and even financially hear your own intuition.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. You're talking to the same animal here.
Yeah.
It's juicy. I love it.
Oh, Sparky, that is where everybody should live.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. And so many people are living in fear or in worry and look, I mean, you only have to read the news. You only have to look at the headlines or just look at the number of homeless people or wealth gap or, discrimination or any number of social ills, let alone nuclear threats and the political situation. And you can work yourself into a bummer really quickly. And those are important problems that all need to be addressed. And the crazy thing is they can all be addressed. They can all be transformed, but not from fear.
bingo, right there. Did you guys hear us? Because that's a huge difference. So that's not my radar. I don't watch news. That's not any politics. All that stuff is just not on my radar. However, if somebody's going to communicate with me and I hear something is going awry, I'm not going to go into my fear space. And that's what I tell everybody else. Also, you don't go into that fear, that resentment, that I'm scared, bleepless, and go into love and blessing and honoring that space and that energy and giving all of those people, the world, the leaders, whatever, that type of energy versus the opposite.
Well, and that's why I think intuition is something that's been terribly misunderstood in our society. And that, I use the term woo-woo, but that's just a derogatory term for some.
It is,
That's like, for example, the way that I look at it is that intuition is standard equipment on every human being on this planet.
Oh, I like
we
that.
We all have it.
We're front loaded with that.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's standard equipment. And I like to tell guys that it's like discovering a Porsche in your garage that you never knew was there, but could really speed you down the highway of life.
Did you like that, Benny? That was yummy.
Wouldn't we all like,
Yeah.
Carrera 2, whatever your favorite model
Let
is.
her rip.
And this idea that intuition is something that we should, that is negative or is dark or in any way should be, avoided or derided, is not only foolish, it's not only incorrect, but it's foolish. Because it's almost like saying, you don't need 2 eyes. You only need 1 eye.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I don't mean to in any way slight people who have sight issues,
I
but the
know.
point is here that this is standard equipment, regardless of your physical capability. Intuition exists in everyone. And as Ann May always, has pointed out, that when you're in fear mode, this instinct is super powerful.
It protects you.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's there for a reason, but you can also say, thank you very much. I don't need you right now. We're going to go into a different space. Emma gave us a great tool also for breathing and getting centered. Mark, you also have some tools for that as well, don't you?
Yeah, we do, and we'd love to,
Well, we could share that in a bit, because we're going to get to all the juicy stuff and why you guys are here and the magic that you guys are creating in these people's lives. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, but before we do, I just love this quote that Ingrid Bergman said, wonderful actress, she said, "You must train your intuition. You must trust the small voice inside you, which tells you exactly what to say, what to decide."
Beautiful. Disclaimer, number one thing, we have to make sure that we are clear on who we are first before we go into that, right? So we're able to discern between the difference,
Yeah,
right? Oh, what am I? Yes.
To
Talk
discern.
Oh, discern,
discern.
sister, discern.
Let's go to Steve Jobs, who wrote the story of Apple.
Yes.
Okay. And his statement was, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow know what you truly want to become.
Mm, yummy.
When we can trust that confident voice of our intuition, we already have a knowing of where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're moving. So turning down the noise of instinct is what we want to teach.
Let's really quickly, let's sprinkle instinct again. Let's talk about what that means. So if people are driving around, they can go, okay, that's my instinct popping up. That's fear. Give us some examples.
So if you're driving and somebody suddenly cuts into your lane and you immediately, jolt to the left, that's a form of instinct. In other words, it's a behavior that is beyond thought. We don't consciously think, I should slow down to put my blinker on and turn to the left in order to avoid this onrushing car. No, you're going to do it instantly. Or if you're walking with your kid on a hike, and a bear shows up, without thinking, you're going to grab your kid and run.
Right.
You don't have to stop and think, I wonder if I should pick my kid up, It's like, how hungry does that bear look? So the point of instinct is that there are times where it's a survival method. But I have to tell you, as Enmei said, fear, flight, or freeze. So one of the things I once flew across country, and I happened to be sitting next to a longtime flight attendant for a certain airline, and we started to talk. And I asked her if she'd ever been in any emergency situations, and she had. And she said that their training was such that the people that they worry most about are, if we think about fight, flight, or frozen, right? So that almost everyone will respond to direction in an emergency. Most people will. They'll be freaked out, but they will respond. Some people will freak out and they will go into flight mode, which means they will power ahead of everyone. They're in complete panic mode. And those are the ones that you have to whack, to kind of get them back in, as she said. But the people who are in the most jeopardy are the ones who freeze.
Oh, of course.
That there are some people who, in an emergency, become catatonic.
Yes.
And their muscles seize up and they can't even get them out of the chair.
Ah.
And so if you can imagine, how is that serving you? Just like the deer caught in the headlights, right?
Yes.
Or the bunny in the middle of the night who comes out in the middle of the road, looks you right in the eye and just sits there in front of, And so it's like, those things don't always work to our benefit. We need to engage our conscious mind, but the more that we also engage our intuition, the more that we're able to trust our intuition, then a different kind of automatic system starts to kick in.
Yes.
That which is rooted in altruism, rooted in our highest self, or Buddhists would say our Buddha nature, our enlightened self, that begins to send us in the direction. And then people say, how did you know to do that? Well, how did you do that? And it's like, I don't know. I just did it. Right, Emmy?
It's automatic.
Automatic. With that little whisper of just, it's that.
It's listening to that whisper.
Yeah.
So we have to fine tune our hearing, and our hearing may come emotionally or spiritually. We can hear it even mentally or mindfully. I have some clients who can hear it financially.
Mm-hmm.
They know their numbers. They can hear their instinct through their numbers.
Interesting. I can't even correlate with that because numbers and me.
I don't play well with numbers, and I don't walk through casinos.
No.
So I have financial advisors who understand by looking at a spreadsheet. They feel like we should move this, we should buy that, we should feel this out, and give it a test drive for 3 months, 6 months, a year, or 5 years. They can feel it through their intuition, through their financial stream. And that's a sense of value for them. So that's an important culture, that's an important space to respect your own intuition. If that same financial advisor was advising from instinct, he's fear-based. I'm scared to put my money here. I'm scared to put my money there. Let's not do this. Let's stay inside CDs. So he's not going to look out for your highest and greatest good.
Yes.
You want somebody who's working in their intuition.
In their intuition. And with that, we are going to take a quick commercial break. This is Sue with the Gratitude Cafe. We are finding your life direction with Enmei Mangels and Marc Sachnoff. We are going to be right back.
Hi, this is Dr. Joe Dispenza. I wanted to take a moment and let you know about a nonprofit organization called Give to Give. The Give to Give Foundation was created by a group of people who have studied my work or have participated in my workshops around the world. And by applying the principles of mind over matter and the mind-body connection, they've created outstanding changes in their lives or in their health, and they wanted to give back. The organization is dedicated to providing the proper resources to those people in need to gain the opportunity to learn exactly how to change their body or their lives. If you want to learn more about the Give to Give Foundation, or you know someone that needs help, or you simply want to make a donation, visit givetogive.com. Those who give don't always know how to love. Those who love always know how to give. Thank you.
Hey guys, Sue Lundquist here with the Gratitude Cafe. Yes, that's positive radio to feed your soul. You know what? Give me 20 minutes and I'm going to give you a lifetime of change. Learn to manage your mind. It's just you, just version 2.0. You hear me say it on the radio, new thoughts, new ideas, new perspective, and it's a new you. Let's have a conversation and stop your spinning. 206-300-2227.
Advertising, successful advertising that is all about being on the right platform with the right message, the right amount of times. Do the right thing for your business. Advertise on the Gratitude Cafe with Sue Lundquist. Reach her loyal audience with your important message. Best of all, the options are affordable, so you can stretch your advertising dollar to reach the right amount of consumers. Learn more today at 206-300-2227. That's 206-300-2227.
Ready to release pain? Energy is not bound by space. Whether you're in Tennessee or Sue's own backyard of Woodinville, Washington, Sue Lundquist can do both in-person and distance energy healing. Sue holistically integrates a range of energy healing modalities that break through blockages and work through both the physical and emotional energy body. You'll find both a guide and a healer in working with Sue. Hire Sue now at SueLundquist.com or call 206-300-2227. That's 206-300-2227.
Following the herd is fine until they lead you off a cliff. Think for yourself. Alternative Talk, 1150 a.m.
Yeah! We are dancing in studio! See, I got one just like me, Benny. So he keeps teasing me about getting jiggy with it, Will Smith.
Oh, come on.
Isn't that just the fun? Isn't it getting jiggy with it? I know! It gets your bubbles going. See?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to say anything other than it's just the terminology.
Getting jiggy
It's
with
still having fun and having a good time dancing. It's just kind of a dated term.
It's not dated.
It's classic, Benny.
See, now
There,
then,
that's
if
a
you say
better
it that
word.
way, that
Classic.
makes it right.
Nostalgic.
Vintage, maybe too far back.
No, too
Stop.
much.
Too far back. Too far back.
Too far back.
I
You
like
like
classic.
classic.
Well done there, Mark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, my
That's why we
heavens.
bring him in. Bring him in. Do it all the
Yes.
time.
Oh my gosh, what a great show. This is going by really fast, you guys. So
Wow.
if it is, it's going by super fast. So if you guys are just tuning in, jumping into our amazing show, bummer on you. You guys got to go to my website, SueLundquist.com/newsletter, and get the whole recording. And of course, you can get it on Apple's iTunes and SoundCloud. So all of that information will be available for you after the show. If you're driving and you're listening, fantastic. We've got a great educational show. We are talking about finding your life direction. More than that, it's getting in touch with and finding the head, the heart, and then your noble higher purpose, which equals results.
That's right. Absolutely, Sue. So, one of the things that we discovered is that when we were creating this process, which we call the total clarity system, of helping people tap not only their logical, rational, intellectual, analytical side, but also their nonlinear, artistic, and intuitive side in order to make really good decisions, that the decisions that people kept asking us about that they wanted to work on often came down to, what should I do with my life?
Yes.
Or I'm unhappy with what I'm doing, or I just graduated and I got a major, but that major doesn't seem to match up with reality. And so people were asking these questions. And, our total clarity system, which we used to call the inner compass method, we've done it with about almost 400 people now. And so many people, we realized the real need came down to, what's my life direction? How do I find meaning, purpose, and direction in my life? And so we thought, well, this total clarity system that we've been working on together, there's a way of using that to help people find their true life direction. And so it starts out with some very simple processes. You want us to explain it?
I want the nuts and bolts. I want it all. I want to learn. I want
let's
all
go to
of
school.
it. Let's go to school. Are you ready, audience? This is going to be juicy.
Okay, so.
And then you guys have live events coming up, so we'll
That's right.
talk about that at the end of the show.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
We've got one coming up on the 28th and on August 11th as well,
Yep.
Finding Your Life Direction. So the thing is that first we need to know who we are. Where are we at? So we do a values assessment, which tells us what's important to us. Values assessment's really great. It's really simple. Tells us what our 4 or 5 top values are. And then we do a passions and skills inventory. Now, why do we do a passions and skills inventory? Because a lot of people never take the time to sit down and ask themselves, what's really juicy for me in my life? What gets me going? What fires my rocket? And then if they even do that, if they make a passions, if we say make a list of everything that you have a passion for.
Chocolate.
You name it. Shoes.
Dark chocolate, shoes.
But that's the point. Everything, but be specific. Do you like making chocolate? Do you like eating chocolate? Buying chocolate? Giving it away? We have a friend who makes. Okay, see, there you go. So specificity is really important. So you make a list of everything that you have a passion for, everything that fires your rocket. But you don't worry about whether you think you can make a living at it or you're any good at it. No judgment, just passion, passion, passion.
Yep.
Until you can't think of anything else that you have a passion for. And I know that we sent Sue one of our blanks, and we'll also show one of our filled out ones, because you'll be surprised how many passions you have. Then you go to the next column.
Oh,
and
yeah, there's sex on that list.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
we'll put that right there on
Okay.
the front. S-E-X.
Good, thank you.
And so, because you got to be real with
Quality.
yourself. Right?
Quality. You said to be specific.
Yeah, and we're not going to go into too much detail there, but the point is that now you go to skills, and I'm not going to say that you could put sex under your skills. But anyway, you make a list of all of your skills, regardless of whether you think you can make any money at it or whether you even like doing it. Though a lot of us have skills, a lot of us have gone through long training programs or professional programs to do stuff that we're not actually that passionate about, right? And I know my favorite stupid example is that, I'm always the guy who has to fill the dishwasher at Thanksgiving because I am very good spatially at fitting every possible dish in there. Do I like it? No. Can I make any money at it? No. But it's a skill, so I want to inventory it because this is a personal inventory. And once we have this personal inventory, then what we can do is we can reflect a little bit, either meditate or chant or whatever, or put it aside for a day or so, and then come back and we rate all of our passions, 1 through 5.
Okay.
And then we circle all the 4s and 5s.
And this is something that we're doing in your class.
We're doing it in the class. It's actually homework in advance of the class because it's better if you have reflection.
That's awesome.
Now, this is where it gets really juicy, and I'll let May jump in. But the point is that there are lots of programs that will help you identify your passions. And that's all fine because it's good to know what your passions are. But the real question is, what is the correct or right role for each of your passions, especially your top passions, in your life today? And what we've done is we've identified, if you can think of a compass face, because we like the idea of the compass, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've identified 4 main roles that people's passions normally fall into. And so if you think about your compass face, let's look at the south. So the south is personal growth. The east is hobbies. The west is social good or volunteering. And the north, your true north, is what we call right livelihood. That's the way you're supposed to make a living. And so let's just talk about this for 1 sec.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say we're talking about passions. People always say to me, hey, Mark, I have this fabulous hobby. And, I really want to make my hobby into a business because I hate my job. And I'm like, okay, great. Why don't we map it using your intuition against this life directions compass to find the correct role? Because there are lots of people who want to make their hobbies into a business. Like I happen to like model trains, but hobbies are something that you spend money on. You don't make money on them. Okay, so every year I go, yeah, wouldn't it be great, model trains? And I go, no, that's a terrible business. It's a great hobby, but a lousy business. And a friend of mine said, yeah, I lost $100,000 trying to force my hobby into business. He said, and all I resulted in is I ended up ruining a perfectly good hobby.
Oh, I bet you there's so many people that can relate to that.
But the other side of it is there's so many people who want to do good, right? They want to save the whales. They want to help the environment. They want to work with children. But the truth is only a small percentage of us are supposed to make a living at it. The rest of us are supposed to support with our time, our energy, and our money. And the benefit that we get is not financial. The benefit we're supposed to get is warm and fuzzies and karmic brownie points and the good feeling of being of service to others. And that's why so many people who are in the nonprofit space who are so well-meaning are miserable because they're not making a living. They can't make a living at it. And it's no harm, no foul. They just didn't understand how to map their passion.
So I like them to take those lists and ask the ESPMF. And that's the checklist to see if they are motivated emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally or mindfully, or financially.
I like that.
When we run through this list, which is the values list of your life, you can explain to yourself, your soul, your spirit, your wife, your husband, your partner, your kids, this is for my hobby, or this is for my social good, or this is where we make our right livelihood, our money, our daily financial well-being, or it's just for my personal growth. Yeah, I have got a real sick passion for Hello Kitty, but should I have a retail store? No. Should I have a hotel on Hello Kitty? No. But I'll buy a little plush toy every once in a while, or a cupcake that's got her face on it. But that's my idea of just personal growth. That's my happy place.
That's right.
Like getting jiggy with it.
Hey,
that's my
there you
happy
go.
place.
Hey.
But if you think about it, this is what's so amazing and what I think is unique about what Enmei and I are up to cooking up here, is that we believe that inside of our life, every person's life, we know, a part of our life knows what is right for us. And the truth is that we all want to have what we call a right livelihood, which is the right combination of our skills and experiences and passions that we can use in service to others and make a great living and be successful at it. And so the beauty of this is that when you can discover that, your life already knows what that is, then how do we do that? How do we discover that? And that comes through a combination of using logical, rational, intellectual part of our life, our intuition, and having this noble higher purpose of being of service to others. And so the goal for us is to lead a truly fulfilling life. As Enmei says, we need to have presence in all four of those quadrants. We want to be of service to others in a social, volunteering. We want to have, exciting and wonderful hobbies that connect us with other people. And we want to be continuously growing and seeking. Like, one of the great things about personal growth is travel or study or seeking, right?
Ever evolving.
Absolutely.
Not stagnant.
Exactly. And
very
so,
important to me.
being healthy is one of my passions, but I don't wake up in the morning thinking, gosh, I can't wait to see what new piece of equipment they have at Gold's Gym. It's like, I could care less. I just want to be healthy because when I feel healthy, then, I can support all these other things in my life. And so the same thing is true with our right livelihood. If people were able to understand, wow, my life is pulling me in this direction, why am I resisting? If you get...
Hey, wait a minute, audience, did you guys hear that? If my right life is pulling me in the right direction, why am I resisting? Enmei?
Check to see, is it emotional? Are you staying there for an emotional reason, or a spiritual reason, or a physical reason? Maybe it's let's just look at that, at the physical reason. Maybe it's so damn convenient to
You
your
can say
home.
That's okay.
It's 10 minutes away of a drive. So you stay, and you stay, and you stay, and you freaking stay.
Yeah.
And then you feel like your energy is sucked out of your life. Check to see, are you mentally or mindfully or financially making that decision of staying or being in that place of stuckness?
Okay, I'm going to go through these questions, audience. Enmei is giving you some great tools and tips just to walk away from today. However, all of these tips and tools are going to parlay into their educate. It's a week long, or not week long.
I hope not.
Not yet. Apparently, that might be happening.
Well, 6 hours with us is plenty.
Is a lot.
It's plenty.
Really.
Yeah,
It's plenty.
Yeah, 6 hours.
It's fun and exciting, and quite
Oh.
frankly, it's really life-changing
The
for many
breakthrough.
people.
100%.
And sometimes the tears of joy and the ahas and the
Let's talk about the
Oh my gosh,
practicality of this. Give us some testimonials, some breakthroughs. Can we do that?
Sure.
And May, tell me, I've got a block emotionally. Walk me through that emotional block. I know that's kind of general and it's an umbrella, but walk me through these 6 hours. What
Well,
are we doing?
We look at some of the things that are maybe holding your decision making inside of something called hereditary hostage.
I love that.
Now, this is a phrase I've kind of coined because I'm watching all my clients stay because my boss said this is the way to do it, or this is how my grandmother did it. I made this ham in this pan, so I have to cook this
my
pan.
heavens.
I have to have this
Yes.
ham, and I have to have this brand, and I have to have it now.
Yeah.
So we stay stuck in some kind of a pattern that is part of our definitions of life. We actually get all our definitions before we're 7, and we don't update. Oh, poopy pants, we update our phones more than we update our own definitions of life. So when we take a moment to update this at the same time as your phone is updating, you can take advantage of updating your own definitions. What's a dad? What's a mom? What's a job? What's a career? What's happiness? What's joy? What is a passion? So identifying those things amazingly update where you are, and it'll give yourself permission, gives your soul permission to receive a bigger definition of life.
Give me the results. What am I going to walk away with? Because I know personally, I know it amazing, magical, and incredible. But those listening saying, "Oh, do I really want to go?" And that's a habit, I'm sure, in their head, thinking, "Oh, maybe I'm a little too afraid to go," or that spin out. Talk to us about that. Why am I going?
I think the main reason to go is to live, as Enmei likes to say,
live the life your soul intended.
In other words, now is the time. If you're ready, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're asking yourself, why am I continuing to do something I don't love, that I have no passion for, in an environment where I'm not supported, with people who I can't get along with? Well, of course, it could be all you, but on the other
hand, you want to play a bigger game.
Yeah, you want to live the life your soul intended, or as we say, this concept of right livelihood. But more importantly, to have a fully rounded life. If you want to live with clarity and confidence, if you want to wake up every morning with the excitement and the joy in that Father Bob's doorknob test and say, bring it on. I'm so excited. In fact, you've spent the whole night thinking of new ideas that you could bring fresh to when you arrive to the office, and you're not just bringing the donuts, you're bringing your best self because you're so excited, empowered, and engaged. I mean, that is fabulous. And that's doable. Most people think, oh, no, a job, I owe, so off to work I go, and all that, those stupid cliches. But there are lots of people, and May and I and Sue, we're people who are living our passions, and you can do it too. And all we want to do is help you get clear, sort through what is the instinctual fear that is holding you back, what are the blocks that may be preventing you, and where does your truth lead you to, and how exciting would it be if you were living full out in all 4 of these quadrants?
Incredible. How do we sustain that? We've come away with a magical 6 hours with you. How do we sustain that change?
And May moves in with you and her dogs and Hello Kitty.
I hope there's some sushi there.
Yeah.
Inspiration is amazing. And when we do this in a group environment that is very safe, very gentle, and very secure, we want to make sure that you feel that and understand that that's very important to us and our credibility.
That right there in itself, just because if you don't feel safe, you're not going to share. And you're peeling some onion pieces here.
This is chopped onions.
Yeah, this is, you're stepping into a whole different realm. And we say this with love and kindness and compassion, folks. You absolutely host an event that's compassion safe, non-judgmental.
Absolutely.
Because you have to, you guys, your purpose for this is to be of service and to get them to be at their purpose.
We have to hold sacred space for this. This is a big transition.
Huge.
We had a 60-year veteran in real estate, and she said, I have to play a bigger game. Her check is incredible. Her car is fabulous. Her life is great, but she wanted a bigger presence. And it was a way for her to just take a tickle and a look at what she wanted to do next. We had a 28-year-old little girl in our class who said, I'm sick and tired of doing what I hate. And she said, I really love the food industry. So I said, let's test drive that. And we made a phone call to one of my favorite Japanese restaurants, and we said, hey, you want somebody to kind of mentor or watch you do what you do? Because she's all in. And she got hired within 48 hours of the class.
And that's because she tested, and her right livelihood was the restaurant world. She saw it through her life direction compass. Her life was pulling her. That was her right livelihood, not the real estate business. It's fine for some people, but for her it was not.
We had a gal who said she didn't have family. She was missing the feeling of family. And inside that room, inside that classroom, she found family.
And isn't that wonderful?
Family
Yeah,
and
was-
accountability, safety. That accountability is really important too.
And so what we do is we follow up. We have a series of calls, support calls, and then we also offer roadmap coaching, which is a specific follow-up program. Because once you discover your right livelihood, you crack this egg and you start making this omelet. It's sort of like, well, okay, how do I get from where I am today to where I now see I really want to be? And that can require some more inner work on life state and life condition, which Enmay's so great at, as well as planning and
It's strategic. You've got an action plan.
So we work with people because we don't want to say, hey, congratulations, you figured out what your right livelihood. Good luck. And, not everybody has the tool set to build that roadmap, and we're here to support that as well.
I love it. We've got about 8-9 minutes left. What would you like to hone in on here? I mean, we talked about the nuts and bolts of the class. I'm kind of curious of the roles that you guys play when I'm at the class. I want to know how and what I'm learning. You guys are smiling big and kind of giggling. Why? What are you doing?
Well, first of all, it's just so much fun to be in any room with Enmay because she is such a ball of Hello Kitty happy energy. But I also really want to, reiterate and underscore that what Enmay brings, because, she's been an intuitive her entire life. She's worked with some of the most famous people on the planet.
You, Marc.
She's worked with CEOs and Grammy winners and professional sports people.
She's been doing this for lifetimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what Enmay is able to do is she's able to work very strategically one-on-one with people to help them. Okay, I'm going to unblock this. I'm going to help you unblock this energy right now. Or she'll work with someone and say,